Okay, so in this video, we're going to make an exploding barrel or explosions. And well, we'll actually make an exploding barrel, but the explosion section of that we can use for other things as well. So the way to think about this is that we're going to have a barrel object, so a barrel blueprint in our level, and we're going to basically going to give it health, okay? So whenever we shoot this barrel and it doesn't have any health, it's going to destroy itself. But before that, it's actually going to spawn in an explosion blueprint, okay? And this explosion blueprint is going to have like a few collision spheres on it that might, grow over time very quickly. And whatever that sphere comes into contact with, and if that thing has like a blueprint interface, we can then tell that to take damage. Pretty simple, but bit confusing to think about it maybe. So let's go to blueprints and I'm going to just do it here. I'm going to make a new blueprint thing. I'm going to call it actor and I'm going to call it barrel underscore explode. Okay, because there's probably a few barrel things running around here. So barrel explode, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need a static mesh in here. So it's just the bottom one here, static mesh. We'll call this barrel. And then we need to set the static mesh over here. So let me just type in barrel, or is it drum? I think it might be called drum. Yeah, it's called drum. There we go. So we've got our steel drum in here, which is fine. You could probably make another material, make it red or something like that there, but I'm not going to do that. And the next thing is we're going to add a new component, and this one's just going to be a box collision for now. And I'm going to just move this up and scale it. So it kind of covers the barrel. Okay. And you probably want to take a bit more time to get this right. But that seems okay. I could probably spend a bit more time resizing it or whatever, but that's fine. And then what we'll do is maybe we don't even need that. I'll just check. Yeah, probably don't need that. But we'll go to the class settings and we're going to add a blueprint interface called damage. This is the great thing about blueprint interfaces. When we're shooting, it doesn't matter if we're going to be shooting a barrel or a zombie now, as long as it has this blueprint interface damage and we're using interface deal damage, it's going to take some damage off of it. So what we'll do is we'll make a variable. We'll just call this here 1 health, and we will change it to a float. And we're going to get the deal damage event. Remember, it's the very top one, event deal damage. Oh, it takes an integer. Let me change this to an integer. And what we're going to do is we're going to set health by getting our health and then minusing the damage from our health. So remember, it's health in the top, damage in the bottom. And then this outcome is what we set as our new health value. All right. Then we do the same. We check, is this less than or equal to 0? Branch. If it is, we're going to spawn, okay, our new blueprint and then eventually destroy ourselves. Okay, so let's put a destroy in here for now. Again, remember with the destroy, you always have this at the end because the code that comes after this is never used. So yeah, destroy actor, and then we're going to have something in here, okay? And that something is going to be our explosion. So let's right click, blueprint class, actor, explosion. That will do. Open it up. And this is going to be like an invisible actor in our scene. It's just going to have like a sphere collision. And we're going to turn the radius for this down to 0, okay? And then all we're going to do is in the event graph, event begin play, we're going to have a timeline. Timelines aren't the best, but we'll be fine for this. I'm just going to call this radius. Here's my cat. Hello, Nella. We're going to make a new track in this template or this timeline. We're going to call this radius as well. And basically, we're going to have two keyframes in here. We're going to have one at 0 seconds, and the value is going to be 0. And then we're going to have one at, say, like 0.1 of a second, so pretty quick. And this value is going to be like, this is going to be the radius of the sphere. So you think about like how far do you want this explosion to go? Maybe you want it to go like, I don't know, 10 meters or something like that there. So we can put in like 10,000, okay? So that's going to be 10 meters. And that's it. Just make sure you have use last keyframe here. It doesn't loop or anything like that. Use last keyframe just means that the timeline stops here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get a sphere. You see we got a radius here, and we're going to set radius in our sphere. And we're just going to take this, okay? And that's it. Then what we're going to do is when this is finished, we're going to destroy actor. So it's just going to destroy itself as soon as it gets that big. So we don't want it lingering around or anything like that. We could put a delay in here, so like maybe 0.1 seconds or something like that. But for now, we're going to leave it like this. Then our sphere, what we're going to do is go down here and component begin overlap. We're going to check if it overlaps with a cast to damage. So anything that has this. So does my player have this? I think it might do. Other actor in here, um, we're going to deal damage, okay? And the amount of damage that we're going to do, I don't know, you can decide this yourself. I'm going to say like, you know, say 90, okay? So it's going to do a fair amount of damage. And then compile that. And that should be it. We might get an infinite loop here in that this is going to spawn and it might try and damage the actual exploding barrel that spawned it, and then it'll keep doing that. So we're going to probably do, let's see, in the barrel, let's go here now and we can spawn in this explosion. So spawn actor from class. It's going to be an explosion. And the transform is just going to be get actor transform. Dragon transform. Did I spell it? Get actor transform. Must have spelled it incorrectly. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to come here where we're spawning in the actor and see here in the advanced section, there's going to be an owner, okay? So what we can do is whenever we spawn an actor, we can set an owner to it. And we can set this barrel that is actually spawning it as the owner just by dragging that out and hitting self, okay? And then what we can do is go to explosion here. And when we're overlapping with it, we can check, is this actor equal to our owner, okay? And go to branch. If it is equal to our owner, we don't want to do anything, okay? We don't want this barrel, exploding itself over and over again. So we're going to go false, right? And that should be okay. So let's go through this again. In our barrel, we've got a static mesh and a box. The box we probably don't need, but we'll leave for now. And in here is an event deal damage. So basically, we've given health to this barrel. And how much health have we given? We've given 0. So let's maybe give it like, I don't know, 20 or something like that for now. And it's coming through damage and it's going to minus off. Remember, this has come from a blueprint interface that we set up in previous videos ages ago. It's going to set the health, check if it's less than 0. If it is, it's going to spawn this explosion actor and then destroy itself. The explosion actor, actually, you know what we need to do? Event begin play. We need to spawn an emitter at location. Okay, let's get rid of these. Don't need these. So the location is just going to be get actor location. We're going to spawn an emitter there, and it's just going to be an explosion. So let's get the rocket launcher one. I don't think there's much difference in it. So yeah, when this actor comes in now, we're going to spawn this in its location, and then it's going to do the radius thing. It's going to check if it's overlapping with the barrel here, its owner. If it's not, it's going to overlap with some other things and deal them damage. Okay, so we could maybe do like 100 damage or something like that. So let's test this out. Let's bring a barrel in and see if this works. So bring a few barrels in. And what should happen is here, when I destroy one, the others should destroy as well. So play from current position. You see, it did happen. So what we can do is um, in the explosion where we're dealing damage, or actually, um, I'm trying to think what we could do. They explode too soon, so they do. It is working, but at the same time, it's working so well that once one explodes, they all explode basically in the same frame. Um, so what we can do is maybe here we could have a delay. This isn't going to be great. Okay. Of 0.1, but we can put a random range, and this is in the barrel just before we spawn this explosion. Um, Random floating range, we can say, look, between 0, no, let's not say 0, say zero point 0.2 to 0.4. We want things to explode, okay? Press play. Okay, so that kind of worked. I'm trying to think what's the best way of doing this. Um, 0.2 to 1, that's the only thing is this barrel is going to... Yeah, that worked. Okay. That's cool. So it's okay that the enemies die straight away. I think, that's fine. Um, but you kind of have a bit of more of a chain reaction here with the barrel. So let me delete down these dudes for a second. And let's get more of these in. Um, yeah, that's cool. So they are exploding. One thing that we don't have is some sound. So let's go to your explosion and play sound 2D. Do we have an explosion? Yeah, we do. Let's get a sound cue. Actually, this isn't very good, but there we go. Yeah, they're exploding now. So that's explode bars. Now, the cool thing about this explosion is it's just been spawned by this barrel. So if you wanted an enemy to explode when it comes into contact with you, once you have this set up, all you have to do is tell that enemy to spawn this explosion. And do I have... I've got a lot of warnings, which I should get rid of. And because the player's using the R damage, they'll take damage as well, or they should. Yeah, you can see there, look, my health's down to 0. So like I am taking damage there too. So it works on the player. So this is a good way because we kind of got this exploding barrel, but it doesn't really explode or explode. It spawns an explosion, and this explosion that we can spawn, anything can spawn that now. So it can, which is great because it's very versatile. It could be an enemy that explodes, it could be a barrel explodes. You could have a rocket launcher that explodes. You know, it, whatever you want to do with it, you can do now.